I'm gonna make some cute clothes for me to wear at the beach. I recently just made this cute little bucket hat, and it fits a little bit better than the last bucket hat that I made, but it still is a bit too big. I think I just have a small head. I think that's why all my bucket hats turn out loose on me, big on me. But here's what it looks like. Like, it's really cute. I made it pretty good, but also it just feels so big. It's giving me floppy hat vibes, like those, you know, those cute big floppy hats. That's kind of what it feels like to me, just because it's bigger than I wanted it to be. But like when the brim was shorter, like just one row shorter, it didn't look right. It looked weird. It didn't look right. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm gonna do the last row. But it just feels so big and floppy. So I'm probably only ever gonna wear this like at the beach, not just normally, or maybe like by the pool or something. But it is still a little bit bigger than I wanted. But maybe I'll throw it in the washing machine and try and get it to shrink a little bit, and that might work, but I don't know. Also, while I was making the hat, there were 2 flowers that I messed up on, and I accidentally did 11 petals instead of 12, so I couldn't turn it into the squares for the hat, so I made them into little coasters. They're cute, and I actually used one of them, and now it has stains on it, but it's fine. They're cute. Now back to the subject of this video. I am going to make a cute shirt. Let me tell you the idea. So last time I went yarn shopping, I was picking out colors that I wanted to use for future projects. So I found these browns that I really liked. And I immediately thought, I want to make a cute top out of these browns, and I want it to have hearts on it. So I'm finally gonna do it. And I found some inspiration pics on Pinterest. One of them, I found a picture of the type of heart shape that I'm gonna make. And then I'm gonna use those squares with the hearts in them. I'm gonna use those squares to make the top. And here's a picture of the shape of the top that I want to make. It's gonna be like, almost kind of like a triangle pattern. And then it's like like a triangle granny square for the bottom. And then I'll figure out something to do for the straps. I'm just winging this. I'm just gonna go off of it kind of by looking at the picture. And since the heart squares are made like a square, like literally a heart with inside the square. Aha! Okay, so instead of it being like a square, it's tilted to be like a diamond on the top. So my hearts are gonna be at an angle, but I don't care. I think it's gonna be cute. They'll be cute at an angle like that, so it's fine. I'm thinking the dark and light brown, or the dark brown and the tan, alternating colors for the squares, and then I'm gonna use this color for like all the borders, I think, and for the little triangle granny squares at the bottom. So hopefully that turns out good. But I'm gonna start making the squares. Here's a little update. I have done 2 squares so far, and I decided to go with the medium brown and the light brown, and then I'm gonna use the dark brown for like the borders, connecting them and everything else. Well, not everything else. The granny square part is gonna be like all 3 colors, and so are the straps. I'm gonna do all 3 colors. But yeah, I just liked these 2 better together than the dark and the light. Anyway, I did make a slight modification. So I think this is the first one that I made. This is the first one that I made, and it looks pretty good. But one of the things that I didn't like about the pattern is that during these parts where you first start, the first 2 rows of the second color, that I'm using this tan color, it starts out as doing chain 3 and then do a single crochet. And then when you get to the sides, it's chain 4 and do a single crochet. So it's just kind of annoying to have to constantly be looking back at the pattern to remember when I'm supposed to switch to chain 3 or chain 4. So in my second one, I was like, I'm gonna just do chain 3 single crochet all the way around, And well, first of all, this one looks so much better. I don't know if it's just because it's the second one that I made, or if it's because of what I changed about it. But whatever, it looks better. I like this one better. And this one was easier for me to make because I didn't have to constantly refer back to the pattern. I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I mean, obviously I still have to look back at the pattern for like mainly just the beginning and end of each row so that I know what to do throughout the whole row. But yeah, so this one I changed to be just chain 3 single crochet, and you're skipping a stitch in between each. So chain 3 single crochet all the way around. And same thing for the second row too. There's also parts where you're doing chain 3 and then chain 4. I just did chain 3 for all of them. And I was worried. I was like, hopefully that doesn't make my square like not a square and be like tapered in, but it doesn't. It still looks fine. It still looks like a normal square. But on that note of it looking like a square, I want it to stay looking like a square, and I want it to be all nice and crisp. So I'm gonna try and make something. I'm gonna make a blocking board for my squares. I'm gonna be making this out of like a bunch of makeshift Dollar Tree materials, but hopefully it'll work out. I think it'll be fine. So first, I got these little squares that my mom gave me from Dollar Tree. It has 6 squares in it. And I think I'm gonna lay them out in a rectangle and duct tape the back of them, and then also glue the sides of them together so that it stays together, and then I'm gonna put nails in it. But one other thing I have these like thick, these thick cardboard things. Like, it's not like regular cardboard, it's like, I don't know what this is called, but this thick, these boards. So I was also thinking about making a second one, which I might not do tonight, but because this one I for sure want to do, and this one will be a good enough size to where I can hopefully have 2 sections, like 2 rows of granny squares. But I also have a bunch of nails, and they're pretty short, so that's why I'm hoping I can fit 2 next to each other on these. All right, let's do this. I got my bag of duct tape. Apparently, I don't have any normal duct tape, any of the regular silver one, so I'm just gonna use this blue one that I found, this blue duct tape. I used to make all kinds of crafts, like those duct tape wallets. That's why I have a ton of duct tape, because I made duct tape wallets and like bags and stuff out of duct tape. I've duct taped the back of it here, and it folds, since obviously I only have it taped on the one side, but I'm gonna use that to my advantage to fold it like this and each way vertically like that to glue in all the seams. My E6000 is practically dead, but hopefully it'll hold. And I took some sandpaper. I got some little sandpaper pieces in this sander block, and I sanded it down, and hopefully I don't get no splinters or anything, but it also kind of helped to get rid of the extra glue that ran to the top. And then I just used my ruler and used a pencil to mark where I'm gonna put the nails. So I ended up putting this piece of board underneath the wood because the wood was just too thin and the nails kept falling out. So hopefully they are secure enough now. I don't think all of them are all the way through to the second board, but hopefully it's secure enough to at least last me the night. Okay, it's a couple days later, and I finished all 8 squares, and I've put them on this blocking board. And well, I actually finished the last few of them last night, and hopefully, I already took one off to look at it, and I think it worked pretty good. They look pretty square, even with the last couple of them only being on here since last night. Now I'm gonna go lay them out on the floor so I have a bigger surface to work with, and I'm gonna organize them in the way that I need them to be sewn together. This is how I have it laid out right now. This is gonna be the front, and these are the 2 side pieces that'll wrap around, and then this is also the piece for the back. I think I'm gonna sew these together for the front and then these together for the back, and then pin it on myself and see how it looks. And after that, then I have to make the triangle pieces to go at the bottoms of the shirt. I saw this technique on Instagram for how to do this flat type of slip stitch seam, and I just think it looks so good. It looks so good. Hold on, let me zoom in. This is what the stitch looks like. And it does not add any type of bulk at all. It just looks totally flat. And I decided to go with this because even though the single crochet looks decent when attaching the squares together, it does add that height. It adds that bulkiness. And this just looks completely flat and I love it. So I'm gonna try and show you how to do this, but I will also put a clip of the video that I found on Instagram. So I already did a couple stitches to connect these together, and when it came to that corner part, this will make a little more sense after I show you how to do this flat slip stitch, but when it comes to this corner part, I just took the corner stitch in all three of these and did the three of them together instead of just two. So to do this, basically, here, let me tighten this. You have your two pieces, and you want to keep the yarn that you're using, which mine is this brown, for this top part. You want to keep this under these two pieces the entire time. Normally when you're crocheting, or at least when I'm crocheting, I tend to hold my yarn like this, but if you do that, it will not work out right. So you have to keep the yarn under here. And that's the main reason why it takes so much longer for me, since I can't just be holding the yarn the entire time. But basically, I'm gonna grab these two, go in the back loop of one. So this is the left one, and I'm gonna go in the back loop of the right. And then I am going to grab my yarn and yarn over and do a slip stitch. You just pull through all of them. And then now I'm gonna alternate between starting with the right and left. So the last one, I started on the left side. This time I'm gonna start on the right side. So I went through the right, put my yarn down, go through the left, yarn over, and pull through. I'll do it a couple more times. Left, right. Oh, see, this, I just made the same mistake again. If you hold your yarn up like this, your yarn will end up going over it and it won't look right. Here's what it looks like if you do end up doing that. See how it has that extra brown right there and the rest of it you can't see it? That's what happens if you hold your yarn up. So you definitely do not want that. I'm gonna put my yarn back down. Okay, and I just undid 2 stitches by accident. So there we go. Yarn over, pull through, put my yarn back down, and I'm gonna go left, right, yarn over, pull through, right, put my yarn down, left, yarn over, pull through. I don't know how much of a difference alternating between going left or right. I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes, but I'm pretty sure in the caption or in the comments of that video or whatever, it said to alternate so that it doesn't like tend to lean one way or the other. You know, I think if I accidentally do a couple where I start on the same side in a row, I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. I have this sitting on my table right now just to show you guys, but when I stop recording, I'm gonna just do this by holding it because that just is easier for me. But yeah, hopefully you get the gist of how to do this type of stitch. Let me pull this up so it doesn't come undone. And this is what it looks like. It looks just like a very pretty flat seam. Here's where I'm at now. I've sewn the front and the backs, and then, so this is the back side, and this is the front, and I'm gonna just fold each of these over and then sew them together right there. And hopefully it fits. because honestly these squares are bigger than I originally thought they were gonna be. And I used some paper clips because I don't have stitch markers, but I used some paper clips to like pin it together a minute ago and kind of try it on, and it did feel too big, but hopefully it will be better once they're actually sewn together because it won't be as loose. I sewed the top all the way around, and I don't have straps on it, that's why it's flopping over like this. But as you can see, it is like a little bit big, but it's not like too big to where I won't wear it. I think it'll just kind of be like a loose tank top. But yeah, as I was making these squares, I realized, wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought they were gonna be. But it's okay. So if I were to remake another top like this, I mean, obviously not with this heart pattern. If I were to do like some granny squares or something, I would end it to be like this big. Like if it stopped around here instead of here, you know? Well, I don't know why I always have issues with the things I make not fitting me. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going and work it out. We'll see what happens. I just got out of the shower a little bit ago and my hair is still wet, but here's the reveal. It's cute. I'm really happy with it. It's not perfect, but it is still pretty cute. And I just did double crochets for the straps to match really the rest of the top, because these outer edges of the squares are double crochets and all of the stitches in the granny square parts are double crochets. And I know I said earlier that I was gonna do 3 different colors for the straps, but then I decided to just do the dark brown because I just needed more of the dark brown to go throughout the piece to make it look more put together. So yeah, this is the final look. Pretty happy with it. And I just threw some jean shorts on because this is probably what I would wear to go with this outfit, since I'll mainly be wearing this during the summertime, either as a bathing suit cover-up or just as a regular tank top. But it's cute. I'm happy with it. Okay, I just realized I forgot to take these yellow paper clips off. I had these on here just for when I was sewing the pieces together so that I could tell the difference between the back and the front, because the back and the front look exactly the same. So I just decided this side's gonna be the front and I put paper clips on it so that I would know which one's the front. And I forgot to take them off, but this is the final tank top. Okay,